All right, man. What should be Brad Holmes' grade this season? So according to the approval polls that was being put up, I think it was by I forget what it was. I think a lot Pride Nation.com. It was prior by SB Nation. I think it was, and Brad Holmes had a high approval rate. He had a high approval rate through, I think they lost 11 straight games. And his approval rate was still high. You know what I'm saying? People didn't turn on him, couldn't, so people couldn't make him into a race thing and nothing like that. He's getting the same shot everybody else got so far that have been in his position. Only issue that's going there is he's not being able to pick his own head coach like Bob Quinn did. Bob Quinn was fired Jim Caldwell. He was able to go out there and get his guy, and they sunk together. All right. But down with the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. All my social media link subscription. Twitter's the fastest way. Facebook and Instagram. Reach out if you want to advertise your channel, video request, chop it up, whatever it may be. All right. So, all right, he did some good things today. I mean, last year, but he did some bad things. As far as the draft, obviously it's premature, but it seemed like a lot of promise. I mean, from bringing Parker in here, uh, Bobby Price. I always forget the other one name. I'm sorry, man. One day I'm gonna get it right. But some of all the undrafted DBs he brought in here, not bringing back, not bringing back the kid, Kenny Galladay. Didn't bring back Marvin Jones Jr., which that might hurt a little bit. I think that's one of the moves that Marvin did end up getting injured, but he older. Marvin Jones would at least gave them of a somewhat of a number one type of receiver. Jerry Joker's the one. He did play Romeo Cora, got injured. Uh, so obviously on paper, it looked like he shouldn't have brought Romeo or Kenny Galladay back. A lot of us was split down the middle. Some people wanted both, but the majority of people were saying that Galladay shouldn't even have came back because of injury history, and it's right. That was the right move. Was need to bring neither one of them back, and then like Romeo Cora showed promise. He didn't show promise standing up in a 3-4. I mean, it took some time, but he was just getting used to his hand being in there. So obviously, they shouldn't have brought back Romeo Core. A lot of people say the number one priority for the Lions is edge, and it's nowhere near the number one priority for the Lions, the edge rushing. But it's probably top 3, top 4, top 5 at the worst. But I'll talk about that in the next video. But like I said before, um, all the good things he did, man. But the bad ones is like maybe not bringing back Marvin Jones Jr. Obviously, the obvious one is the Jared Goff trade. Obviously that was bad to bring back Jared Goff. Uh, Trendy Benson deal was bad. What else he done? So there's a few bad things, but obviously the one that stick out the most is Jared Goff and the Trendy Benson Craig. Maybe you look at they should have brought Marvin Jones Jr. back. Maybe they shouldn't have, but those primarily really some of the bad things that he's done. You know what I'm saying? And but I guess bringing in Tim Boyle too, he's trash. Got to throw Tim Boyle on the list as well too. But just the biggest one was the Jared Goff trade. That's the only one that scares me about his tenure as a Detroit Lion. That's the one that scares me the most about him because it's a lot of good GMs out there, but the ones that's able to separate themselves, they're able to go out there and evaluate quarterbacks, and they're few far in between. They few far in between. The good ones are able to go out there and get quarterback, and that's what happened in Miami. It was rumored that one of the subs was saying that Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert and Chris Greer wanted Tua Tagovailoa. And obviously we know who was right. And that's the one thing that scares you most about Brad Holmes is his inability. You're scared that he can't scout quarterbacks. And that's the most difficult thing to do in this league as far in his scouting department. I mean, it might be the most difficult thing to do right up under winning Super Bowl or NFC Championship or both. It's hard to find quarterbacks in this league. We see what a lot of people, even people that took Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, they didn't know what they was getting. You know what I'm saying? If everybody knew Colin Kaepernick was gonna have the run that he had, I think Colin Kaepernick wouldn't have lasted to the second round. You know, I think Andy Dalton had more success than some of the first round picks that went around this draft, Jake Locker and some other guys and Mitchell Trubisky and Blake Bortles and Blaine Gabbert. A lot of guys that went ahead of him. Lamar would have went higher. Aaron would have went higher if they knew what they knew. And evaluating the quarterback position is what's going to separate him and what's going to bring a Super Bowl in Detroit. That's going to be the difference. You can put everything around a quarterback. You can have the perfect head coaches, the best line, the best receivers, the best defenses, but to sustain success in this league, it starts with the quarterback position. That's just what it is. To have a good year, a really great defense, and have a good year. But the 85 Bears didn't repeat. That Bears team with Urlacher that played Indianapolis Colts didn't make it back to the Super Bowl. That Warren Sapp Buccaneers defense in 2000 didn't make it back. The Ray Lewis defense didn't make it back. Chris McAllister and those boys, they didn't make it back. They all have one thing in common. They didn't have franchise quarterbacks. You can say, well, the Giants made it back. Hostetler was better than all the three quarterbacks we named, and Phil Simms was better than all three quarterbacks that they had. Brad Johnson. He got a son too. Shout out to Brad Johnson's son too. I forget who he played for. Brad Johnson, Trent Dilford, Rex Grossman, Jim McMahon. Come on. So that's the key. The key to the type of success we deserve in Detroit, or we think we deserve in Detroit, is an elite quarterback. Look at the Packers. You take Aaron Rodgers off the Packers, they booty juice. They trash. So that's ultimately what he'd be judged by. He can have a perfect defense, but you got to pay 11 plus guys, and it's hard to keep 11 plus guys together. So that things you need to be things you need for him to sustain his success that he need to work on is a quarterback, and just keep hitting in those middle rounds. That's it. And draft like you do. Keep hitting in the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. Undrafted. Those are what football teams are built. I think the way he drafted, he's going to find a star. I think Bob Quinn intentionally didn't find stars. Because you look at Martin Mayhew, he found stars. He found the Dominican Sue, Calvin Johnson. Don't forget, Bob Quinn was that high. That motherfucker took Jeff Okuda, excuse my language. He took Jeffrey Okuda. Now, I'm going to talk about probably tomorrow, too. I'm probably talking about how people scared to take Kyle Hamilton because of Jeff Okuda. But I warned y'all about Jeff Okuda. I said he simply couldn't play. Everybody feel like we had to take Hutchinson or Thibodeau. They not it. They both injury prone. They both the same player. They might be good depending on the situation, but I don't think they worthy from number 2. Before I take one of them, I take that receiver from Ohio State or safety Kyle Hamilton. Easily. I'm not going to take somebody because you say he good, and you know how, if it add up, if the line start getting calls for Thibodeau and Hutchinson. Now, if Thibodeau run a good 40, if he run 4.5, 4.6, people going to forget about the injury history. People going to forget he's too small. But like I said, neither one, in my opinion, is worth it. There's too many other great pass rushers down there you can move down and end up with. But next video. But yeah, he's going to be defined ultimately by his ability to find a quarterback and his ability to really hit the middle rounds. And then if you had to give a third one, it's probably going to be his ability to find star talent, which I think he's going to find. He's going to find star talent. He shows he's not against star talent because we had other GMs that found star talent, even the piss poor ones. So the other, even Matt Millen found Calvin Johnson. Was that Matt Millen? Yeah, he found Calvin Johnson. They're gonna find talent overall. Jermaine Crowell, if he did get injured, Herman Moore. They traded for Britt Perriman. Benny Blaze, they're gonna find talent. Brian Westbrook, they're gonna find it. Trust me. Lomas Brown. They're going to find stars. Luther Ellis, Robert Porcher, Sean Rogers. Quinn was just against talent. He was against superstars. He going to find it. He going to find it. As high as they drafted it, he going to find it. If it's Thibodeau, if it's Hutchinson, if it's somebody else, Hamilton, he going to find it. There you go. He must have stepped on him. Or he got his bone. I'm sorry, y'all, about Mason. But yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. That's just where he gonna find it. But those things he got to work on, or the mistakes that he made. Great things he did. He didn't bring back Galladay. Gotta pay. That's probably one of his best moves he made. Saved the team $72 million. You know, because he didn't produce in New York. He was injured a little bit, but like I said before, it wasn't worth it. Now you're in a position to find a receiver. You know, if they wanted to move back and took two receivers in the first two, they can. Or stay and take one. Because really, Reynolds and Ra, they make a good 1-2 punch, but you need the Uno, the big Uno, the big one. You know, and they're going to be in position if it's Drake London, he was waiting down the line, red shirt and Jameson Williams, if he come out, or Meacham came out, both from Alabama, I'm fine with it. You know, take chances. You know, if it's staying up there and taking the kid from Ohio State, I'm with it. Because the Bengals showed you, you know what I'm saying? Jamar Chase changed everything. And with the Lions, they really got some good options. Hawkinson, Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Got some, and then you still got Tyranny Benson in the freezer. He gonna figure it out. So if he figure it out, but I think he will. So really, you know, they just need one number one receiver, a guy that can grow into that. So now bringing back Galladay, save them millions and millions, literally millions of dollars. You know, the draft, it was a hit. Anders Zorky and Derek Barnes didn't have a great draft, but Barnes just switched positions to linebacker in his last year in college, so it's gonna take time. He's a pass rusher. He's moving inside. It's gonna take time. You know, Levi Onwuzurike, he missed the whole year. I warned y'all about him and Sewell. They missed the whole year. It's hard to preserve your football body. We're not playing football. And also, I think in Washington, it was a 4-3 scheme. I could be wrong. He was on the inside in Washington. Now you playing the 3-4 end. It's different. It's different. You eating up space. So you switch your scheme. You know what I'm saying? And he got a year off. The talent is there. We seen it flash. In preseason, then the back injury. So right then, other than that, Malafanu, he showed us that he can hang Jermaine with Adams and them. Bobby Price showed that he can hang Jermaine. I think somebody told me he was a converted safety to corner. When he was a safety, he could play safety. We're talking about Jerry Jacobs. He showed. So, man, they locked that corner. They locked. Depth, they can force some injuries. And see why Mike Ford didn't make the team. A lot of people was pissed off when Mike Ford didn't make the team. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all remember the videos, but you see why Mike Ford didn't make the team. He had to move on from Mike Ford. Because he had young, fresh talent that's gonna get better in this league. Another one, we thought was a mistake. That was a good move. Get rid of Mike Ford. That was a good move. Parker, Price, Jacobs, they all deserve to make the team. And obviously you're not gonna get rid of Jeff Okudah for cap reasons and potential reasons. So, that was another good thing he did. So, Craig Reynolds, somehow they kept him on a practice. Another good find. Another good find. Panisa Will drafted him, another good find. All these picks was pretty much fire except for like the two. It's gonna take time. So he drafted well so far. Things could change. Undrafted, hit the undrafted line so far. Look good. Craig Reynolds, look good. Jamar Jefferson, Flash, guy in the Buki, converted safety to running back because Anthony Lynn look good. The Matt kid that switched from tight end or whatever defensive end. With Matt Nielsen, he looked good. Evan Brown looked good. So, they kept some guys around and brought some guys in. D. Marlowe wasn't no slouch, keeping Jalen Maven Reeves around. Finding Charles Harris, bringing him here. He looked good. So like I said before, this team, man, say what you want to say, man. This team look good. Everybody was saying, what y'all expect when they lost 11, 8, 9, 10 straight in a row? They was using the talent as excuse. This team was in the majority of the games they played, bro. That's a fact. They was in it. And people was excusing because they like name brand stuff. Like niggas buying Gucci and think it's gonna change who you are as a person. It's not. You a lame nigga wearing Gucci and a cool nigga wears Gucci. If you cool, you cool. If you lame, you lame. If you average, you average. It is what it is. The brand don't make it Only people that believe that the brand makes the person, are young, immature, or ignorant. And a lot of times it's all three. So I mean, I can't think of everything that he did, but those things he did that really stepped out. Finding Josh Reynolds, off the waiver line, it worked out. Passing up on Dale, that was smart. It worked out. So his checklist to do is to keep doing what he's doing. The number one thing for him to do is find a quarterback. That's the number one thing you can do. Everybody got expectations next year. Everybody just remember Goff played good in 3 games. Green Bay, and that really because he went against Jordan Love at the end, Arizona, Minnesota. The people not going to understand. Next season is going to be a different season. So they have to prepare to move on no matter what, Martha, Sheila Wong, whoever the hell up there, he got to make a move. Now, if it's moving back and getting more capital for the next draft to find a quarterback, got to do it. Because he's really going to be judged if he don't find one. His barometer really going to be the guys he passed on. If it's Mound, if it's Davis Mills, who's the second best quarterback in this draft, the best so far is Mac Jones, he really going to be judged by that. That's what he really going to be judged by. No matter how great Panisa will become. If there's a Hall of Famous or a Pro Bowling quarterback, he can't measure up to that. So he really going to look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the one. Now, if he fell and burned out, people like, oh, he did the right thing. But that's really what he's going to be judged on, So we'll see. But, I'll give him I'll give him a B+. Not going to hold the Goff thing against him. Maybe they say we give you extra first for Goff. I feel it. But right now, he got to start preparing to get a quarterback in 2023, or he got to find one this year. And they're going to get a good look at all 6 at the Senior Bowl. So we'll see. But, he did a B+ type of job, man. And, yep, he did a great job. It wasn't for the Goff. And had he, got the picks and ended up with Justin Fields, and we'd be saying A++. So, that's the difference, but it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. If I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you have a business question, inquiry, response, your video request, all my social media subscription. Twitter is the fastest way. And Facebook and Instagram, if you have a business question, inquiry, response, your video request, whatever it may be. Want to make a financial donation, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal in the description. Other than that, that's what a donate, comment, thumbs up, share, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Try to Trey Lines Talk playlist. Let me know what you girls and guys think about it. Give them a B+. And hopefully, hopefully the momentum rolling to next off season and the next and the next. And got a lot of things. The biggest thing to overcome other than the quarterback position is depth. This team has been deprived of depth for over 20+ years. So the little shit, little things is like keeping guys like Reben, keeping guys like Walker, retaining your draft picks, retaining the guys that want to be here, and find them undrafted guys and hitting in the middle picks. Once that start happening, you start building a solid football team. Free agents will come to you and want to come and play here. So this is around the culture that he's building, but the depth is really tied for quarterback for him. The 1A, 1B thing, how you want to do a quarterback depth. But hey, peace.